To take a moment here to have a look at some drops. Drops can be very complex and get a lot of attention. There can be a lot of consequence depending on the height of the drop. Now there are a number of ways to attack a drop, but in this little video I'm just going to show you 2 ways of attacking a drop. So the first way is demonstrated here by Luke, is known as the press. So preloading and kind of popping off the jump. I'll just show you what that looks like first of all. Let's grab it back here to the start. Just show you a normal speed. And slow-mo in the middle there. Alright, so here you can see Luke is approaching in a nice tall neutral position. Really good. And then just around here he starts to press down with his legs. You can see them here just bending a little bit. So right here they start to bend down a bit. And he's nice and tall back here. So just around here you'll see them bend and straighten. So they go from here bent to here straightened. Okay, they're a lot straighter there. And what that's doing is creating a little bit of lift, so the wheels don't have any weight in them. Okay, so what that'll do is it'll take the weight off the wheels. You can just about see that rear wheel lifting. It's kind of hitting a bump as well at the same time, but he's gone weightless here. So both wheels, because of the fact that he's weightless, you'll see that, let's cut this out here. You can see that the trajectory of that front wheel is kind of staying in the same line as the back there. Okay, so starts to drop just as that back wheel comes off. And that's kind of the intention there. So the little press, it just gets you centered on the bike and it allows you to unweight it so that that trajectory keeps going forwards. Okay, and then you'll see, let's get this off. You'll see just here as that rear wheel reaches the edge is where his knees start to bend again. So from here, we've got his knees are here, and as we creep a little bit forward, you see them bend down to here. So they're really bent there, a lot sharper of an angle. So what that's doing, it's stopping this rear wheel from getting hung up on the edge of the lip. Because if that rear wheel gets hung up on the edge of the lip, it's going to catapult you. It's going to, every equal and opposite, if every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So what will happen is if this gets bucked, it's going to send him up and over like this, and so he's going to end up going and twisting. Okay, so great little demo there, little press. The only thing I could probably say is there's not much downward force happening. He's more popping up, so I would go a little straighter legged here at the start, and so that you have something to push down with initially to create that pop. And then nice absorb of the lip as he goes over, staying nice and centered. So really good. Great technique if you've got a gap to clear, which this one actually does. So there is a gap here. So that little press technique is good if you need to get a little bit more distance or a bit more height to clear something. Now, because some drops might be a lot higher than this, and this one you could definitely get away without pressing and hopping off. For a drop, really, you want to reduce the height of the drop. You don't really want to be gaining more height to drop even further. You want to kind of squash that drop sometimes. So let me show you what dropping or squashing that looks like here. So we'll switch into a demo from myself here. So again, nice and tall in a neutral position as I'm approaching. But what will happen here is I don't want to gain any height, so I don't press to take any pressure off the bike. As I get closer to the edge here, I literally drop down towards the bike. My knees bend. I fold at the waist there. So you can see here this angle. All right, that's where we are here. And then as we go a little further off the edge, as I get to the edge, as that back wheel goes closer to the edge, that's where I move from that shape to a definite more right angles, okay? Basically folding at the hips and bringing the knees up to the chest. And at that same time, my arms start to extend forward. So as I go off the edge, you can see my arms are almost at full extension there. I've got a real sharp bend in there now, and the arms are stretched quite forward. What that's doing is it's placing a little bit of pressure just right here in the front of the hands there. So as I bend down, when the front wheel reaches the edge, I drop my hips, drop down. It pushes the bike out forwards, and it creates this little bit of pressure here in the backs of the fingers, which in turn then that force pushes the bike back underneath. So as you can see here, bend down, the bike shoots forward right at the lip there, that front wheel. I'm trying to keep that trajectory up, just like Luke did with his. Trying to keep that front wheel nice and high until the back one reaches the end. And then the bike can start to drop. So the arms stretch out, I'm nicely compressed. The pressure in the front of those hands pulls the bike back quite effortlessly. So I'm landing centered. So then right now I'm nicely centered straight through the bottom bracket. My chin is above the stem there. Okay, nice and centered. And I'm able to ride away from that without getting sent over the bars or anything like that. Alright, so to watch that in full speed, happens super quick, super snappy. Alright, so nice and smooth, folding, that's squashing the drop. I didn't put any press, didn't gain any height. All I'm doing is dropping to the bike to allow this wheel through so it doesn't create any pressure here on the bottom of on the lip of the drop. Just allowing that wheel through so there's no downward force on that tire as it goes over the edge. So I hope that helps a little bit. And yeah, always make sure you practice on something small to start with until you're able to get it, and don't just throw yourself off big drops. Start small, start slow, and start with the original video there of doing the press technique to start with, just to get a little bit of lift. And then as you start to speed things up, you can move into the fold, okay, and squashing it. All right, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments. I'm happy to answer. And we'll see you in the next video.